Hello everybody and welcome out to episode 103 of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I'm your host, UF Gives, joined by massive dash Chris Mangeli.
Hello everyone.
And of course, Mr. Xbox Live, CW Lanky.
Hello.
So boys, I have got a bit of a raspy throat today. So we do apologise if I sound a bit weird, but that's what happens when you're 33 and you get too drunk. And you throw up as you're leaving a taxi. And then throw up in the streets.
Classy.
And then throwing up in the streets of Taunton. Then your girlfriend throws a kebab in the air, and someone has to come out and shout at her for doing that. And then you don't even get to eat your own kebab because you're just too violently sick to enjoy the kebab.
You white girl drunk, Davey, is that what we're saying?
Well, I literally went to a bottomless brunch, Craig. And I'll tell you what, it was bottomless. But wasn't a whole lot of brunch, and I had a sausage sandwich. It was lovely. But we're not here to talk about my drunken excursions to the big city. We're here to talk about video games. So let's start with the usual rigmarole, which I believe is talking about what we've been purchasing and playing over the last 10 to 11 days. Let's start with me, because to be honest, we need to get some rest in between takes for poor old Dave. I'm not going to talk about the main game that I've been playing on PS5, because obviously we've all played that and we'll talk about that as the topic of the show. So other than that, on PlayStation 5, mainly more WRC 10, which I have then also played on Xbox, because I have it on Xbox as well. I just wanted to see the differences and which I want to go with. Runs better on PlayStation, controllers better on Xbox. So that doesn't really help me, does it? But there we go. But that's it for PlayStation. Obviously, Helldivers. We'll talk about Helldivers later. On the PC, which is a weird way to start here, I have actually played a couple hours of Rise of the Tomb Raider on my Mac. Because
Why did you play it on PC, Dave?
So
He's not even playing on PC, he's playing on Mac.
On Mac. Well, I had access to it on Mac, and I didn't at that time have access to my Xbox. So I was just kind of like, well, if I like it, then I'll go and play it on Xbox and get achievements. And I do like it. So I have started it on Xbox as well. But yeah, really fun game. I had it on both. I think it's on Game Pass as well, if my memory serves me. But yeah, it's good. I don't know why I didn't play it in 2014, because I think this is a game I would have really enjoyed in 2014. I guess because I didn't really like the first one at the time. But there we go. And that's it for PC, Craig. Don't worry. No more of that. That won't happen again. And on the Xbox, as well as WRC, what else have I played on Xbox, Craig? I feel like I played something else.
True achievements. I always have true achievements loaded, Dave, so I know.
Just in case.
Yeah.
It's been like 10 days since we've done anything.
It's been a long time, yeah. A lot's happened in the world.
It has, and obviously we're going to talk about many things in the podcast. But yeah, I can tell you
what Dave's stalling sounds like right now.
Right. What I can do, I play some Madden, because the Super Bowl was on. Obviously.
You just played it because you watched me and Craig and
Or watch you and Craig kill football.
Yeah.
You saw my brilliance and thought, I want a bit of that. That's what you thought.
Yeah.
Imagine if that's what I wanted. And then on Switch, I have played some Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which I've had for a while. I just haven't got around to it. Really, really good. Very, very, very good looking game on an OLED. Perfect handheld. Really enjoying. I'm like a couple missions in the first game. It's a really good game. I think it's relatively cheap. I don't think it was a full price game when it came out. Pengy can probably tell me that.
No, I don't think it was.
So it's like, for the thing is 40, I think. And for that, it's absolutely worth it. It's 2 games as well. Really fun game. It works really well on handheld, which is really what you want with Switch games. I think if you start playing Switch games on the TV, you're often onto a hiding to nothing. But no, it looks really good on the handheld. And that is a very truncated Dave week. So let's get on to the big dog, Chris Pengele. What have you been buying and playing over the last 10 or 11 days?
Okie dokie. So on Xbox, I have played nothing and bought nothing. On Nintendo, I have played nothing, and my Sora amiibo arrived, which you remember me mentioning when we looked at the games and stuff for February, and that was coming. So my Sora amiibo is here, so there's that. And that was the last of the Smash amiibos as well. which doesn't have all Smash for me, but I've only got like a few that I want of them. And then everything else is pretty much PlayStation. Have played something on PC as well. A lot of Football Manager 2024, where I finally started my J League save.
And who are you, Peggy, in the J League? Out of interest.
So Matsu Masa Yamaga, and they were in the J League 3, and now I got them in J1.
And that's exactly why I asked that question, because I knew you weren't going to pronounce that even close to correct.
That was brilliant there, Dave.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
There we go.
Yeah.
How is the J League going, Pingy?
Pretty good. I've won J3, won J2, and I've won an Emperor's Cup. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's all good. Yeah, it's like weird. It's like, oh, my transfer budget's like 3 million, and if if that was in Europe, I would like not be able to buy anyone. And it's like, oh, the two teams go down. Let's have a look at their players. Oh, this guy's really good. Oh, he's like £200,000 like bargain. So
I'm surprised you haven't utilised the huge transfer bug that is currently in Football Manager, Pengy.
I didn't even know there was a huge transfer bug.
A huge transfer bug, which basically means you can sign almost any player in the world for like £17.
Oh, nice.
That's why I haven't played it, because I was like, I can't trust myself to not use that for Taunton Town to get them Mbappe. So we'll just hold off. Not that Taunton Town have £19, to be fair.
Yeah. So that's my football managing thing. So, I got to win J1. I got to win Champions League, got to win a Super Cup, and I haven't won the League Cup either. So, I got like 4 trophies to win with them. Sort of thing. And I was offered a few jobs in my time as them so far. Some team that got relegated from Portugal to second tier, and the sole job in Korea, and, stuff like that. But no, stay where I am. Well, that's good. And then on PlayStation, which has been literally everything else of my playing, I've played a little bit of Gotham Knights, because we were on about playing that co-op, Dave, which we haven't done yet.
No.
I've done like it's done an episode sort of the story. It's like episode 1.1, and you're doing the missions from there. So I've done like episode 1 or whatever. Got the trophy of that. And episode 2, where you're gonna meet the penguin and stuff like that. That's all I really played with. That's like a couple of hours in, because I started it and then I got distracted by my next game on here, which is a PlayStation exclusive, and it's in Plus, and it's Foam Stars.
Did you play this once or twice?
No, I played Foam Stars for like 8 hours. I'm level 17, I think, so not huge level, I don't think, but then maybe I haven't played that much to get level up. And there is a trophy for level 25. I'm missing 2 trophies now: the level 25 trophy and doing the weird PvE thing on hard, which I have attempted a couple of times. When it finally finds someone else on there to play, and we got to like wave 4 of like 10 ways, so I don't know how that trophy could be a bit of a pain to get, because obviously it's who you end up playing with on that. But yeah, I quite like Foam Stars. I'll play the Rubber Duck mode, which is the one I was saying was going to be like the main mode. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's got a weird survival sort of mode where you do teams of 4. It's always teams of 4, so 4 versus 4. But then they split you into 2 teams of 2, and like one's inside the arena and then 2 are outside the arena that can like then throw the foams to support on that. That's really rubbish. That's the rubbish. But the main sort of mode is which is basically just a death match, and you get 7 lives per team, and you got to get your other team down to no lives and that, and it's fun and little deathmatch kind. Yeah, so I quite like Foam Stars, and plugging away to get that level 25 trophy at least.
Did you even bother downloading this, Dave?
No, of course I didn't.
No, I was going to, and I watched someone stream it for about 5 minutes, and I was like, "This looks absolutely horrendous." Like when these people do these like sponsored streams now, and they're really like, obviously they're being paid to play the game, so they're they're trying to hype it up a bit. They're trying to at least pretend they're having fun. This poor dude was really struggling to even pretend. And I was like, this just looks terrible.
just think there's
Absolutely wank.
way too much competition for games like that at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
even on PlayStation. So, like, if it was multiplayer and it was on Xbox as well, then you could be like, okay, well, and Switch, you could be like, well, there's a group of whatever. It's free if it's free to play, but like, is it PlayStation and PC? And then
No, it's just PlayStation, so it's PS4 and
it's
PS5.
just PlayStation. Then we've just put. And then what? How many days later did Helldivers come out?
2.
Like 2.
Yeah. So like,
Does
didn't stand a
Foam
chance to-
Stars make it to Christmas?
No.
I don't know because it's like I said, it's hard to find games already on it. For instance, like I know I'm trying to do the co-op mode in hard mode, but it's like, yeah, I'm just sat here waiting to find a game, sort of thing. Hopefully, maybe I can like go on True Trophies and go like, like the forum, like, yeah, does anyone actually want to play Foam Stars so we can get this trophy?
It's going to
sort
be.
of thing, but...
It'll go free to play before April 1st.
Yeah.
Is it not already free to play?
No, it's on
No,
Plus.
it's 30 quid. It's on Plus.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's actually supposed to be a 30 quid game, and the monetization's awful in it. So I'm mainly playing as Penny Gwyn, and the costume pack for Penny Gwyn is, guess how much it is?
£20.
No, it's Square Enix. No, come on, Dave, have a proper guess.
I don't know.
I mean, £20 seems about,
No,
fair
it's
guess.
it's $36.99.
But why?
Fucking hell.
Why would you do this?
Well, yeah, and that's the cost of like a whole proper video game almost. For just and weirdly, I have seen people with like these costumes and stuff in the game, and like that's mental. Like the new character's only a £5. Like you can get a new character for £5, but the costume for the character I play as is £37. Yeah.
Does this even make it to the summer?
I don't know. Don't know.
Christ.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yep. So then after that, I did a Pengul's easy platinum title called The Street 10. Because, I like easy platinums. Has got a bit of an ending on this one, so it's not just like tap the tortilla 100 times or anything. It's you got to do some stuff. So I guess it's slightly better than them, but I don't know how much better than them. If you wanna,
Just don't see the point, Pengy. But whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, it was right. So I got a £5 voucher from my PlayStation Stars from the big pickup, which was Helldivers 2, and then I saw a game called Submerged was on sale for £2.50, and that was also getting you 50 bonus points on the thing. So I bought that, and then I had a couple of quid left over, and I thought, oh, the Street 10's on sale, and it's an easy platinum. Let's buy that. So that's what I did. And sort of thing. And on Submerged, I started playing that yesterday and finished that yesterday as well. This is the second one, but I don't think like the stories really connect between Submerged and this one, which is Submerged into the Depths. I want to say it's the subtitle. Which weirdly, this was at one point a Stadia exclusive, and I never actually played it on Stadia.
It lives.
But Stadia lives, and weirdly, it reminds me of Wavetail, because it's a water-based, like third-person adventure game. There's like no combat or anything like that. It's just really like puzzles. And so was Wavetail of Stadia, and I don't know where I played was it Sea of Solitude, the EA one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where I played that. I think I played that on Xbox. But it's in that realms of area, sort of thing. It's a fine little like 3-hour indie title and stuff like that. I finished that. It has a lot of collectibles, and I will get all the collectibles because that will get me a platinum trophy. But it's like there's 57 diary entries. There's like 10 towers and just costumes. You gotta get all the costumes and stuff like that, sort of thing. Because there's a lot of collectibles, which all the trophies are basically all the collectible ones, sort of thing. So yeah, so I will plug away to get the platinum on that one, and then obviously Helldivers 2 was the other PlayStation game playing and pick up.
Lovely. Have you done anything else before we move on to Krago?
Not that I can remember.
Okay,
I've
Krago.
tried to keep it track of what I played.
Oh,
I mean, he has, but we'll get to what he's forgotten in a minute.
Okay.
No.
Krago.
Before I start, Dave, I remember a couple of weeks ago we were trying to predict what would score worse between Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones. Yeah,
Yes.
and I was just had a looking at Open Critic sites, and I saw Skull and Bones has actually got a score now.
Ooh.
I can't remember what we all predicted, but at the moment, boys, it's actually neck and neck. They're both on 60.
That's so funny. I think I said Suicide Squad.
So yeah, they're both bang on 60 at the moment. So that's interesting, at least.
Oh, yeah, some bad ones in there as well. Looking at it, PC. I'm guessing the PC version is broken because all the PC reviews are like 4 out of 10.
Yeah, sad times. So yeah, we'll see.
They not update their drivers and stuff on their PC.
Probably.
Those fucking nerds, right? I feel like one of them's more likely to go down to 59 than either of them's likely to go up to 61. So we'll see which one drops first, I guess.
Yeah. That was sad.
In terms of what I've been buying and playing, on the Switch, nothing, obviously.
Just me fighting the good fight with Nintendo.
There's no good fight with Nintendo, Dave. There's no good fight.
You're
just tossing your body into the pit at this point, aren't you? On PlayStation, I played a game which is obviously so memorable to Chris that he's completely forgotten about it, which was Silent Hill: The Short Message.
I must have forgot to write it down. Because it was in 2 weeks, I've just been writing down, like, what did I play? I'm trying to work it out. And it's got no trophy, so it doesn't show up on True.
So in Chris's opinion, it doesn't count.
It doesn't exist to the world.
No, I quite liked it, but yeah. That's why I mostly forgot about it. I was like, I did you.
He forgot about it because he liked it, Dave. That's where he is now with games.
No, like I did a U and looked at True Trophies and stuff. I was like, what have I played since we last recorded?
So what is your opinion of it? Because this game's got a 57 on OpenCritic, which seems incredibly harsh for a free game. But yeah, what was your take on it, Craig?
I thought it was okay. I thought it looks very pretty, and I thought the sound is very good. I think it's not very subtle in its story, and it's very just on the nose and straightforward, and probably a little too much at times. And in terms of mechanics and that, it's basically just your walking sim, interact with objects jobby.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it does look pretty, and like the sound, like designing that with headphones on was very, very good. It's not particularly scary, other than it does have some like chase sequences with an undefeatable monster. The first time you do that, it is like genuinely chilling. The problem it has is you do that like multiple times. And after the first time, the novelty has worn off. And by the last time, the novelty is well and truly worn off, and you're just like, oh, I just want this to be over now. Because it's just like, oh, we're just doing chase sequences, but longer. You're like, oh. Well, I'm kind of bored of that now, and I'm just like wandering around this dark apartment building with no real guidance as to where I'm going. Just kind of stumbling around. I felt like I was just stumbling around it for ages, and then it ended. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, I think personally, did you say 57? I'd say that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
If it was a 65, I wouldn't be like against it. I think 65 would be fair.
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
But like I say, it's a free game. It's not very long. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I did it in just one evening, and it's fine. Like I said, it looks pretty, if nothing else. And like I said, music's pretty good.
They got back the guy that's done like the Silent Hill music and stuff before. He did the Medium's music as well. That was like a big deal for the Medium. They got him back for like the music and sound design and stuff like that. So, which is always good.
It's one of them. If it was like 10 hours of that, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this is awful." But it's fine. It's okay. What were your thoughts, Pengy? As you forgot about it.
Yeah, totally sort of agree. I don't really get like I think I've read like Push Square's review before playing it, and it's like, oh, this is like totally damning. And I'm playing it, it's like, yeah, this is like fine. I don't really get like how like oh, I think they gave it like a 2 or 3 or something like that. It's like it's free. It's a walking simulator type game. Like PT was basically that as well. Like the only difference I can see is PT was like when that came out, that was new, different Flash, and obviously it was like, oh, leading into Silent Hills. Oh, cool, we're gonna have this game come out, and there's been like 800 million clones of that game
I guess
since.
wasn't PT quite cryptic in like its story in that, whereas this
Yeah,
is very just ominous.
that's
I
the
think
other
that's
thing.
what a
But the
lot of
game,
people learn.
but yeah, but from the gameplay aesthetic, they are pretty similar. Again, I haven't played PT since it came out, and now it's impossible to play. Thing. So maybe if I went back and played PT, I'm like, oh, this is different from what I remember. But what I remember, this isn't that much different. It's a walking sim horror title thing, and it's free again. So yeah, I don't. If they charged it even let's say a tenner for it, that maybe be too much. But yeah, I don't really see the issue. The only thing is, it doesn't lead into anything, which I've seen a couple of people like moan, oh, well, what's the point of it? But that's
It does seem like a missed opportunity, doesn't it? That like this
yeah.
isn't like a Silent Hill 2 like little 2 hour prequel or sequel or like something going on
Yeah.
in the background or
Well,
something. Do you know what I mean?
and obviously it's got like a lot of flowers and stuff like that, and the is it Silent Hill F or If or something, the one that's coming, that's got like I remember in the trailer that had a lot of flowers and stuff, so you think, oh, maybe it's linked to that, but then that's set in like ancient Japan and stuff, and this is set in Germany, so in like modern times, so.
Yeah.
Like I was like, how they? I can't really see how you link those two together unless there is something. But that's the only thing I can think of. They both have flowers and stuff. But there's a bit in the game of sort of messages that it basically explains how you can have Silent Hill outside Silent Hill, sort of thing. But yeah, so weird. Because yeah, again, this is in Germany, not in Silent Hill. So
Yeah. I think that's all I played on PlayStation other than Helldivers. And then on Xbox, I don't think last time I'd started Infinite Wealth. I think I'd ordered it and it hadn't arrived yet.
yeah, because you were it's coming from a weird Amazon, wasn't it, or something? And it was coming like 2 days later or something, from what I remember.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So I've started that now. I am into. I think I'm on chapter 4. And I want to say my save is about 15 or 16 hours in, which is obviously a drop in the ocean to a game like this because
Mm.
it's a big boy. I will say it's very much like a sequel in terms of the story. Like the last game, like a dragon, was like a very good like soft reboot for someone like me who's not really played any other Yakuza games other than Judgments, which was a spin-off, obviously. So you could kind of go into the last one and not feel like you were missing out on the story. Whereas if you were just to go straight into this one, I feel like you would just like miss out on a lot. It does do quite a good job of doing like flashbacks, and you'll like meet a character, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is that guy from." They do like a little flashback story thing because it is hard to even keep up if you have played all these games because there's so many characters and they all kind of are very similar. So yeah, I would definitely recommend playing the last one before you play this one, which is going to be tough because that's like a 70-hour game, and then
Mm.
this is like a 70-hour game. So have fun catching up if you need to. In terms of actually this one, I mean, I'm really enjoying it so far. I fucking love Ichiban Kasuga. He might be my favorite like video game protagonist ever.
Wow,
He's so good.
That's a heady claim.
He's such a lovable idiot.
Have
You know what I
not,
mean?
Have you not played N64 Classic Glover, Craig?
I think one review called him like a human Labrador, and he really is. He's just such a lovely guy. He's great. He's absolutely great. So yeah, I'm really enjoying kind of going back playing with him. It starts you off in Japan. I think in the same city as the first one, and you kind of like you get back together with the old crew, and you're like you're going for drinks and you're doing all the silly stuff that you kind of did in the first one, and then you set off to Hawaii, which is obviously the new location. The Hawaii looks beautiful. It looks really good, and it feels really nice to play like a Yakuza game, like a tropical setting. Because all the ones I've played so far have been quite industrial, like Japanese setting. So to go to something completely different is quite refreshing. Combat is still like fantastic, even for someone like me who doesn't like turn-based. It's still great. It's the best turn-based I've ever turn-based. I think it's very.
You need to play that Persona, Gregor.
Yeah, I mean it's very good. I think they've added like some like knockback features and stuff as well, so you can knock characters into other enemies and hurt like big groups, or you can knock enemies into your party mates and then they attack them as well for like a little follow-up damage. So they've kind of added little bits onto the combat, which is already brilliant. And I mean, like I said, I'm 16 hours in. I still don't have my 4th party member yet, which kind of just shows how big I think this game is going to be. I still don't think I've unlocked the job system yet either. So I've still just got the standard jobs for everyone at the moment. So yeah, I'm still basically tutorialing, boys, which is
Love to see it.
which is kind of crazy.
It sounds like you're playing a JRPG.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's very much one of them. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've done loads of side quests as well. That's probably why I'm still feel like I'm early, and because I've not done much story. I've already got the like do 20 side quest achievement.
Nice.
Because I've been that guy. I think there's another one for doing 40, which I'll obviously get fairly soon as well. I would have thought. But yeah, it's great shit. Basically, it is great shit. If you like the first one, you're probably gonna like this one as well. Yeah. So yeah, just more endless Yakuza goodness, because this studio just seems to turn out like 2 or 3 games a year at this point, don't they? And they always seem to be a good quality.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty great, right?
Sega Atlas.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all you've played, Gregor,
Now it is.
we can go into our topic of the show. Tots. So we're going to start with... what should we start with? Let's start with Xbox, because I think Helldivers is more interesting. So obviously we didn't record a podcast last week, mainly because we were being sensible people and holding off until we knew exactly what was going on with all these random Xbox leaks and rumors. And if you've not been up to date with this, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. I feel like you should be up to date with this if you're listening to this. But basically there was lots of rumors about Xbox going third party, and there was panic everywhere. People were selling all their games, their consoles, just going nuts. So we wisely waited until they...
It's just what everyone probably should have done, right?
Exactly. So, Craig, what exactly did they say?
They said that 4 games will be going to other platforms. They said that it's 2 smaller games, which we imagine is going to be Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush. Also, it still blows my mind that they keep referring to Hi-Fi Rush as a smaller game.
Yeah. It was
They are the only people that do this.
Yeah, I think
everyone else is like,
budget.
this is...
I think that's what they mean.
Like, this is like a big game. Like, the production and all that is basically AAA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like they mugged themselves off of this a small game. Like, even though pricing it at £30, mental, absolutely mental. But yeah, so we know it'd be those 2, and then they said 2 live service games, which is Sea of Thieves and we assume Grounded, right?
Yeah, that's the sensible. And again, Phil was at points to say that the games that they've selected make sense, and they do make sense. Not enough people got to enjoy Hi-Fi Rush because they didn't market it. To be honest with you, they didn't know what they have. Like you said, they still don't know what they have. And that game will do great on Switch and PlayStation. Pentiment, similar, I think. Cool. That's fine.
It's a weird one to put out on other systems, because I feel like it's such a niche game. I feel like it's not really going to like sell very much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hi-Fi Rush, I think, will make them some money.
Hi-Fi Rush is Hi-Fi Rush is a hey. When the sequel comes out in its only going to be on Xbox for at least a year. You want to come over and play on that Xbox. I think that's what Hi-Fi Rush is. There's absolutely no way that they're not already working on Hi-Fi Rush 2. But yeah, I haven't played Pentiment, to be honest. I don't really know.
No,
what
I've not
it
played.
is.
I can see it doing quite well on the Switch, to be honest. That Pentiment.
It's one that like when the inevitable Xbox handheld comes out, I feel like that's where you play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we again, that moves very well onto the next point that they made, Craigo. Obviously, Grounded and Sea of Thieves make sense. They're live service games. I think Helldivers should also probably come to Xbox and Switch too as well. I just think those type of games, I think they live and die on their player base. So
yeah,
more people playing it.
Interesting how much they price Sea of Thieves and Grounded at on Switch and PlayStation.
Well, how much are they on Xbox?
I have no idea because of Game Pass, to be honest.
So I would imagine Sea of Thieves, I would imagine, is a $59.99 game.
Yeah, I don't know how many people would jump on that. Because like Hi-Fi Rush is like 25 quid or something in there.
Sea of Thieves Deluxe Edition is $44.99 retail. And Sea of Thieves is $35. I think that's a fine enough price for how much content's in that game. And what's the other game we're on about? Hi-Fi. We're about Grounded, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because Grounded is also already on PC, and I believe Sea of Thieves is already on PC.
Yeah.
On Steam. So you can
I know it did quite well on Steam.
And the Grounded is also £35, and that did well on Steam as well. So
that's not too bad. And Helldivers 2 is 35 quid sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, I guess 35 quid for a live service game is not too bad. It's just when you say live service, and we're talking about Foam Stars, we you go, oh, it should be free to play, sort of thing. Yeah, but 35 quid is not if the game's good.
Yeah, and I just think there's more content in the likes of Grounded and Sea of Thieves at this point. So I personally have any objection. I don't think as an Xbox player you can have an objection to those 4 games. I think Hi-Fi Rush is the biggest one for them to go to other platforms. But again, like I said, they're absolutely working on a sequel and they just want to make more money. So I don't see the problem. I think if the PlayStation equivalent to Hi-Fi Rush would be something like Concrete Genie. So if that were to come to Xbox, I don't think you can be, as a PlayStation fan, like, oh no, like more people should play that type of game. You know what I mean? So.
I think, like, especially the live service, you think kind of makes sense. So I think, I think the 3 options essentially. You think like Sea of Thieves came out in 2018, I think.
It might be before. It might be before that, Craig. It might be 2016.
At this point, like Phil said, that game has exhausted its audience on Xbox and PC. And for games like that to exist and keep on getting content, it's obviously got to be making money. So, I mean, the choices are essentially, if it's not making the money now to carry on justifying the content, they don't get any more content. It's not a great choice. You carry on with it being on Xbox and PC, but they've got to milk their player base for more money, which is that's pretty much the words he said. Or you put it on another platform and take other people's money, which is, again, exactly what he said. And, like, you know, of those 3 options, that's the best one, right? It's that or the game basically just stops. Like,
yeah, and I mean, going forward, I think Microsoft would be crazy not to make all of their live service games multi-platform at launch. And you know, like PlayStation are doing it with Marathon, for example. I think you have to do it. Like Helldivers is doing great now, and obviously we'll talk about that later. But if Helldivers is also on Xbox, I think you'd also have a nice big chunk of more players. But
yeah, well, you think, like, you know, if Sea of Thieves was 2018, that's what, 6 years ago. Yeah, is Helldivers 2 in 6 years still going to be a thing? Well, so that's the like level of where we're talking at.
Yeah, and if all 4 of these games came out and only sold 1 million copies each, that's still a significant amount of money to go into
development.
And Hi-Fi Rush will sell more than 1 million on Switch if it runs well. I'll learn it will run, and if that game runs well on Switch, it'll be a pretty popular game. It's a very Switch focused game, Hi-Fi Rush. So
yeah. Plus they haven't got much else to play on Switch, have they, this year? So
no, exactly.
You gotta give them something, right?
Exactly.
Obviously they said about, you know, this be naive to think there won't be more games going over, right? That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because I've seen everyone now reposting the PC thing from like 2016 and stuff like that. But yeah. So
I think ultimately the game industry is changing. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, fanboys will be fanboys either way, but like, it just makes the most sense. Like, if the next Halo comes out and they do a version of it on Steam, it's like, why not put that game on a different platform as well? But again, it's they've said case by case. So if they did Elder Scrolls Online 2, it would, or Fallout 77, that would be on everything, wouldn't it? So
I think what people were moaning about, what people were scared of, I guess, was that like Hellblade's going to come out in a couple of months, and that's just going to go straight onto PlayStation. I don't think that's happening from what they're saying.
No. Or like
I don't think in a year's time Hellblade goes onto PlayStation, from what they're saying. You say Indiana Jones, I don't think that goes straight onto PlayStation. I don't think in a year's time after launch it goes straight onto PlayStation. I think that's what they were trying to say.
And Phil said when they asked, is any of these 4 games, Starfield and Indie, is like, no, but you can't rule anything out, and we're taking this as a learning experience. So if Hi-Fi Rush comes out and sells 2 copies, well, then most probably they were like, what's the effort? But if it sells like 5 or 6 million, I'm like, yeah, oh, look at all this money we're making off PlayStation and Nintendo. So I think it's a bit of a test bed and go from there. And like you said, live service games make sense. Like Halo Infinite, like the multiplayer and single player is like separate. It's like, why don't bring over the Halo multiplayer? Again, you get more people playing it, by the battle passes and stuff like that. You don't even need to bring over the single player. Put the multiplayer in like a Sea of Thieves and Grounded sort of thing.
Yeah, and obviously I get why people are more hesitant with the bigger like Xbox home franchises, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what they said. Obviously, they did finally talk about Activision Blizzard King, so we know we're getting Diablo to Game Pass, and they all but confirmed that all future games will be coming to Game Pass day and date. Great big games like Call of Duty. Like we all to a different extent like Call of Duty. I hate the way they physically put the games on the console now, and the fact you have to download 300 gigs before you can even figure out what the fuck you want. But it's good to know that we'll be getting the new games when they come out straight to Game Pass. I haven't got to spend £70 to play Call of Duty, so that's great. And
we finally get Diablo, which is the main thing.
And we get Diablo on March 28th, just before the expansion comes. Obviously, we're planning to play that. So,
hell yeah.
It's a good game. And they also reiterated, because I know Chris was talking about some Toys for Bob rumours, that turned out to be false. They're just going remote, so they don't need as many staff. And they have said that they're working on a new game, and it appears to be Spyro, from the image of the devs playing the game that was spread around a couple of months ago. So Crash and Spyro fans have something to look forward to, I believe was the quote. So lovely stuff. Let's put Crash Team Rumble on Game Pass as soon as possible, and that game can live. But there we go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game. Christ, yeah, that does need to come to Game Pass, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Penguins can jump back in. They can teach us the ways.
Yeah. I can finally get my level whatever achievement.
Exactly.
They basically confirmed the June showcase as well, didn't they? In this,
they literally said we got a showcase in June. They also
we've announced next gen as well, boys. Already.
Yeah, they've announced next gen, and they're talking about some hardware this year, which we'll move on to next. Obviously, there's lots of rumors about dockable handhelds, about diskless Xboxes, and new controllers all leaked via the FTC.
And there's the cloud box, there's member as well.
Yeah, and then obviously those plans.
Phil had one on his shelf for years, hadn't they?
Yeah, and obviously those plans have changed, I think, over the years, but we'll see. So we're going to see next gen. We've also this week had the Sony quote that they're in the latter stages of the PS5, which I think is a crazy statement.
That's not what they said. They said the latter half.
Okay. Chris has got his Sony hat on, Craig.
No, but it's not. That's IGN said latest stages, but it's not. The translation was latter half, which makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But either way.
Yeah.
We're nearing the end. So that's exciting. It's cool to know. Obviously, we all want it to be the dockable handheld this year. I feel like we've seen too much of the other one for it to be that, but hey, I take it. If it was just a Series S with a screen on it, I'd buy it. So that would be fun. And did they really say anything else? I think they just said, yeah, we're still doing what we're doing. Game Pass is doing fine.
Basically, Game Pass. They reiterated the whole cross-save thing, didn't they? talked about game preservation, which is everyone's favorite thing apparently.
Just the way stuff will be backwards compatible when we move to new consoles. That's all they said. I mean, I fully expect it to be the same as the Series X to Xbox One. It just is the same console, but with more stuff.
Apparently, did they say next gen was going to be the biggest leap technology ever? Which is going to be bollocks, and there's no way that's going to be true. Because that's going to be like they're going to have to go to some technicality on that. I feel.
Yeah, because can you really get when we went from 2D to 3D, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the previous biggest leap would be. Probably what, N64 to like Xbox, like that gen.
Yeah. See, to me, it's 2D to 3D and like standard def to high definition are the leaps.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean,
don't really well, you could do 8K, but I don't know how many.
Well, these consoles were advertised as 8K.
Supposedly, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we'll see. So yeah, that was the Xbox thing.
They also said they had 10 things coming this year.
Yeah, but that's also really difficult to guess because obviously they now own it. Almost every game studio.
Yeah.
So one of them appears to be Call of Duty and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and one of them was the because he mentioned a few Matt Booty, and one of them was the Diablo expansion. So you can kind of work out the 10 things: the expansion for Diablo, the Golden Road for Elder Scrolls, Hellblade 2, Flight Sim. Indiana, Avowed. I've got the 6. Aria, that's 7. Call of Duty 8, and then I can't think what the other two are. But yeah, that's so you can work out what the 10 things are they got this year if you and something. But it's still quite a lot, 10 things.
Yeah, especially if most of those things come to Game Pass because
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I haven't got.
Did they really actually? I don't think they did say COD and stuff was coming.
They said all first-party games will be coming to Game Pass. Call of Duty is a first-party game.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Craig?
I thought with the ST thing that couldn't happen. Was how they got.
Well, that's not what Matt Booty said. So
yeah, we will see. I guess when Call of Duty comes out this year.
Exactly, but obviously just going off what that is, wouldn't want to misquote anyone, would we, Pengy? But so yes, that's Xbox. We don't have to talk about it anymore. It's great.
Yeah,
there will be a Nintendo
There's a
Direct.
lot of fuss about nothing, basically, on it.
Standard, right? Lots of people panicking.
Yeah.
Luckily, none of us did that, Chris. So we're okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Helldivers, which is our second topic of the week. Tots. We've all been playing it. We actually played some together, which is a rare thing for the Save Slot 3 boys, and we will probably play some more whenever I'm not out drinking. So what's our opinions? Craig, what's your first impressions of Helldivers 2?
I guess for me it probably is very much first impressions. I probably played the least out of the three of us. I'll maybe get on to why I probably played the least in a second. In terms of like gameplay and that, I think the actual like gunplay is very, very good. I love that your character feels very squishy. You don't feel like a normal video game, like a super soldier, super hero thing. You literally just feel like a grunt with a gun, right?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that so far, from what I've heard, the enemies feel quite squishy as well. It's almost got that Gears of War like pop to the enemies. Like when you get a headshot on Gears of War, they just explode. It's kind of got that kind of shenanigans going on.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen them, I don't expect. There's like a green bug instead, and like you hit the green like bit, all the goo and that splats out and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like the abilities as well. I like the fact you've got to do a little code to do your abilities, and that they're all kind of very destructive. They look great. I've just got the napalm one unlocked most recently, and that's brilliant. I love that. I love the fact that the abilities obviously can be great, or they can be like massive hindrances.
Minefields, anyone?
Minefields. I mean, we've got your Gatling guns things as well, Penkles, which have probably got more kills than the bloody minefield at this point. So I like that a lot. I think the game is very pretty. I think the sound's very good as well. In terms of like what I don't like, I'm not massively keen on the progression, if I'm honest. It feels quite slow to me. It feels like I've been playing for a fair bit and I've got like 2 guns. And I'm like, I kind of wish I had more more choice than that at this point. I'm not keen on the overall how do I the mission structure. In fact, it feels very PC to me. It really reminds me a lot of, remember that awful game we played? It's much better than this, but remember that really bad game was the dwarf game gave
Oh, Deep Rock Galactic, yeah.
It's where we were playing. We never really knew what we were doing or why we were doing it. I think it's much better than that. But it kind of reminds me of that in like the PC way, where it feels very like procedurally generated, right?
Mm-hmm. The maps, I believe, are.
Yeah. So you're doing these procedurally generated, and you're like, all right, cool. Why are we doing them? And you're like, oh, there's a bar that we're filling up. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. What happens when we fill up that bar? You get another bar. You're like, oh, okay. We working towards anything else other than the bar? No, we got more bars. It's like, oh, okay. So for me, like, I'm enjoying playing it just because I think the gunplay and the actual like the abilities now are really fun. But I'm very much like I'm playing it with when you guys are on. Like, it's definitely more of like a social thing for me. Because it's just not enough gripping me. Like, there's like not really much of a narrative that gripping me to make me want to play it on my own or with randoms. Which is a shame because I like the opening cutscene you get when you open the game is fucking brilliant, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, give me more of that. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, there's these bars. We're filling up the bars. You're like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's probably where I am with it. Like I said, I've probably played the least by quite a bit out of most of the three of us. So yeah, I mean, I'm liking it. I feel like, what's it set on at the moment? Like an 83 or an 84?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. I'd probably go a little bit lower at the moment, but like I don't think it's like egregiously out at all. But like I said, I have played like very, very little. Mainly because I just waiting to play more with you guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump off. I agree with most of that. I think it's a pretty fun game. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, it's fun. Like, it's kind of like, it works. It's just an enjoyable co-op experience at the moment. It doesn't have a whole lot of substance, but equally I kind of like that to an extent. Yeah, it's a weird one with the mission structure because it feels very much like a free-to-play game. Because it's kind of like well, we'll do this, and then if it means anything, we'll do this, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do this. But yeah, it's not very inspiring. I don't know if there's cutscenes after the end of all the big missions or not.
No, because I've been when the game first came out, it was the two. Well, you can see this is the thing. When we played at Crate, there was the one planet left, which we were playing on most of the time, which is more floral-y stuff like. But you could have gone to the other side of the map, and there was other planets. So we was like doing that one because that was the galactic war at the time.
That was where the game was pushing us, right? That's
that was the guys pushing us because that was the galactic war. So I've played. I can't remember when I played. But anyway, I played since that sort of bar was filled up, turned on, and it's like, congratulations, soldiers, we've moved, and it's just like, this is writing, no video, whatever. Congratulations, soldiers, we've moved in, and then it's like the next, like, move further out of the planet, and it's like, because we've done it, here's your 10,000. It's the yellow one, which you can buy stuff on your ships. I bought my jetpack with it, sort of thing. And then obviously, as Craig said, there's a new bar, which is the robots attacking on the other side of the the map. And it's like, yeah, we got to go fight the robots. Like, you don't have to go fight the robots. You can go fight more bugs if you want, and go to the fire planet or the snow planet or whatever. But as you say, it's the game's leading you into fight the robots, and the robots seem way harder as well than the bugs, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's one of those. Like, I think it's fine for what it is, but like I said, I think it's designed for people to be really into it. So if you're not really into it, or it's just, I can see it as like a side game. I wouldn't see Helldivers ever being like the main game I'm playing is Helldivers. Like, it's like, I'll jump in with you guys, maybe like a couple of guys from the forum, play for a bit. It kind of feels a little bit Monster Hunter-y to me, if that makes sense, where it's like, cool, well, I'm doing this mission because I'm trying to get this thing done, and I'm trying to grind this type of enemy to do this type of mission, this daily quest or whatever. But yeah, I think on the whole it's pretty fun. I think £35 is a pretty good value for the game, and obviously it's doing very well, which is good. But yeah, it's a funny one. It's one of those where I'm like, if you asked me to put a score on it, I really couldn't, because I just think it varies so dramatically from like it's okay to it's a lot of fun to I don't really know why I'm doing it. Like Craig said, I don't think I'd load this up and be like, oh, tonight I'm going to play for 2 hours on my own with randoms and kind of go from there. But then
I think for
we
me,
could have 5 hours of fun from it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
like it makes me like appreciate games like Borderlands more, because it's like it's got that like looter, like obviously co-op-y thing to it, but with Borderlands you're actually like you're working towards something, and there's a narrative and there's like structure to it. Whereas this, obviously, there's not a lot of that. What are your thoughts, Pengy? Give us the Pengy review.
Yeah, so I've played, according to my PlayStation app, I've played 11 hours of the game, and as I say, I've got my jetpack. You got to be a level 8 to buy the jetpack, and like I said, I use my money to buy the jetpack, which I've actually weirdly not that used that much, and sort of thing. I've played a couple more games with Jasta off the forum and stuff like that, which are pretty basic sort of missions, which are fine. I have fought the robots, and like I said, they seem way harder. So I was doing a defend mission, because again, that's the goal at the moment, because the robots are attacking these planets, and you already have these planets, and you got to defend them from the robots, if that makes sense. Doing that on easy, so which is only the second difficulty in, because you got trivial, then easy. Pretty tough, because the robots have guns and stuff as well, so they're firing back at you and they're running at you with their big swords and stuff like that, and some of them are bigger and armored, and you got to like get them in the head where it's exposed and stuff like that. Especially as again playing as randoms, and I saw there was a trophy for defeating a Bile Titan, which is a big, I mean a big bug. Which is a challenging difficulty, which is the fourth one in. It's the first time you see them. Did that. That was really fun. Trying to take down the Bile Titan, because like them is massive. Is like stomping all over you, and then like people were chucking down their like orbital strikes, and you're in the crossfire of them, and you're dying, and limbs are going every a great time, and so that actually seemed easier than the robots on easy, because obviously it's just a big bug sort of thing, which you can sort of try to avoid than getting shot at by the robots, sort of thing. So I don't know if they've done that like on like the bugs first and then the robots like ease people in, and now it's like, oh, now we're fighting these. This is more difficulty. Didn't get the trophy for the Bile Titan, so I guess you got to get the final shot in as something for the count as the kill, not just finishing the mission. Sort of thing, and again that was challenging. I get rarer samples, so they can buy better stuff for your ship and upgrade, and you can get more medals and stuff like that. I think there's one mission I think did, and we were literally heading towards the main objective, but doing every side thing on the way, and then finding like the medals or the samples and stuff like that, and it gives you like 30 minutes time. Again, a bit like Monster Hunter, normally gives you like 30 minutes for a hunt sort of thing. It's like, I guess has how you want to play it. So like these randoms I'm playing with, there's like, yeah, we're going to go do all the side objectives and get all this gear and all this loot and fight kill all these bugs and stuff on the way. So that's pretty neat. But then I have played games where it's like, yeah, this is taking like over in like 5 minutes, and it's been pretty boring. So I guess it's how you thing. It was going to be like a side game, like play more Batman and stuff like that. But I haven't really like things like Submerged yesterday, being a small indie, it's been like the side game for me instead. So yeah.
I will say as well, I love how into it a lot of the community of this game on like social media and that. Like people literally calling out. I saw someone calling out people who were fighting the bugs instead of the robots. Why are 200,000 people fighting the bugs when we need to be like pulling back, fighting off the robots, whatever. I do like. I do quite enjoy seeing stuff
Yeah,
like
because
that on social
I
media.
guess that is the main objective of the.
Yeah,
See, this is the
yeah.
thing you're saying, like the game has like no story, but like it is pretty simple. Yeah, there's a galactic war going on. This thing. I guess you could have like a cutscenes. I guess showing like the robots like attacking the planet, just like a quick cutscene or something of that. It's like, yeah, the robots are now attacking or something. Yeah, maybe that sort of thing they could have.
Yeah, that sort of narrative, I think, is what it misses. And like you were saying about the Bow of Titan doing like that, but like that almost sounds like a big boss fight or something they could be leading towards. It's like
Yeah,
you've filled up the bar, now you have to go on to challenging and beat the Bow
yeah,
of Titan. I mean, like that's some sort of like narrative that
yeah,
it could have.
yeah,
That we should, make a bit more appealing to me.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it could also be another case of Sony not expecting this game to hit, which I know sounds really silly, but like they haven't really marketed it that much in the run up.
No,
They've been too
no.
concentrated on Final Fantasy, but
Yeah.
like it's doing very well on PC and PlayStation
Yeah,
5.
it's
So
more concurrent than Destiny.
and the
Yeah,
devs
so-
are really
Just a
putting the
game
effort in.
than Destiny. That's right, boys.
Well, yeah, I mean
Destiny.
Destiny had a 500 million marketing budget, if I remember rightly. But like,
Yeah.
like the devs, I'm in the Discord for Helldivers because when we played it, the servers were down, and they are constantly updating it with like stuff. They're constantly telling the community what's going on, what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening. It's like, well, this is actually really refreshing that this
And
much
I think
smaller
they've took on,
studio.
and I think they've took on more staff as well on that as well, haven't they?
Yeah, because again, the game is just so popular. They're like, we're getting millions of sales at this point. So
Yeah.
let's go.
And
for
as
it.
you see, like Craig, obviously at the moment it's only been out a couple of weeks, and it's doing basically the same as Helldivers 1 did with the table and the Galactic Walk and stuff. Obviously, this one being so much more popular. Maybe they do like end of the month or a couple of months time in the thing. They do, as you say, like lead up into a big boss fight or bring in a second, like a third race or something like that on the top half of the map is now, I don't know, orcs or something. I don't know, thing.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of like DLC and that down the line for this game, isn't there? Given how well it's doing. Didn't they already say they're adding mechs? Didn't they?
Yeah, I believe they are.
I'm sure that was
which
something
they,
they announced before it even launched. So I can definitely imagine you're going to get a lot of stuff like that
Yeah,
down the line with how well this is
the
doing.
first game had a lot of content.
Yeah.
A lot of content, and obviously they eventually put it on PS Plus.
Yeah.
So, if they just keep going, I think it's going to do well. It's good to have a game like this come out and do well because it's a fun game. Like I said, it's not very often we get a game come out that is just pure fun. It's kind of like how Hi-Fi Rush was on Xbox. It's like this game's come out and it's just a fun, well-made game, and you're like, oh. And like I said, we never play games together, which is funny because we've been doing a podcast for like 7 years, but like for us to all three of us be like, oh, like for Craig, for example, who isn't the PlayStation guy, to be like, oh, when are we jumping on Helldivers? Is like, oh, yeah, absolutely, we'll jump on Friday night, and it's like,
Yeah.
and this week I'm really hoping that we get some time to play. I've got a day off next week, like a weekday off next week, the week after, sorry. So I'm just like, oh, I really hope I get some time to get some games in, and Helldivers is one of those games. So overall, it's a good start. We've had the Xbox chat. We've had State of Play. We just need a Nintendo Direct now, and then we can go about our lives.
Yeah. This week, most probably.
Oh yeah.
That Nintendo Direct.
Give us something
It
to
was
talk about
this
next
week,
week.
last week, Pegos.
Yeah, especially last week, but everyone says they've now they moved because of Xbox. So
Yeah, and they were very clear, Xbox, they couldn't announce the games. And as I said in the group chats, because at least 2 of those are going to come to Nintendo on a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
that's the deal they've been done. But yes, so that is another week done. We're unbelievably into the last 10 days-ish of February 2024. Where's that gone?
January lasted forever.
Mm.
And now, like, you're looking at February, like, so March soon. Like, what's happened?
Well, I mean, it's my birthday in like 2 weeks. Chris has already had his birthday.
yeah,
What has happened?
We're going to be old. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you got this far, drop a like. Let us know what you think of Helldivers and what you think of Xbox and what your plans are. And we'll be back. We need to do a challenge mode this week, me versus Craig. We'll probably do another Helldivers stream at some point as well because we are enjoying it. We want to fight the robots to see how hard they really are. But yes, thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Bye.